Hello, it's Ben here. We are going to do the Chapter 10 defenses PPR rankings, starting 10 from 1, continuance. And I'm Ben, and that is...
I'm Bryan over here, motherfuckers.
Yes. And let's go ahead and get going.
Goofy motherfucker. People are just gonna fucking hate us just because we're so fucking annoying.
Like, what kind of fucking introduction is that, bud? Fucking calm your jets. My hat's all fucked up again. Good. Number 10, you start off because I think I did tight ends first. We did the alternate thing now.
Yeah. All right, so for the top 10 defenses of fantasy football this year, I'm going to go with number 10, the New England Patriots. The fact that they lost quite a few key pieces on defense, I just don't see them being the all-around great team. I mean, yeah, they still have Gilmore. He is always, he's one of the top corners in the NFL, but I don't know, just something doesn't seem right with that whole defense. I just don't see that they're going to be as powerful. I mean, there'll still be a top 10 defense. I just don't think they'll be like the number one defense like they were last season for scoring wise and everything. So, but they always seem to prove me wrong every year. So hopefully, for once, I'm not wrong.
All right, so we'll go with my number 10. My number 10 is the Buffalo Bills. Reason why I picked the Buffalo Bills to break the 10 of the mold is they had some additions. They had a pretty good offseason, I'd say. As many of you guys will come to know that I tend to be kind of a real homer on a lot of my teams, my college teams and my professional team. The fact that I think that they added AJ Epinesa was a great pickup, especially where they picked him up. That's a great pickup. He's a good edge rusher. They do have Josh Norman, which, I don't really think he's really – I don't think Josh Norman's that good. I think he's washed up. I think he only had the one good year, and Carolina hasn't been shit since. But they do have pretty decent secondary other than that, besides him. So that's why I'm going to go with the Bills at number 10.
Okay, so for my number 9 pick, I'm going with the LA Rams. Mainly because, they have Darnold still, and he's a sack machine. So, I mean, him being on the team, it's always going to be a decent defense. Offensive-wise, I mean, they're screwed. But I think that defense still has a few key pieces left on that team. That they can still, they can still pressure the offense and they can still get points. So I look for them to be the number 9 fantasy team for the defense this year. Back to you, Ben.
My number 9 is the Kansas City Chiefs. They were pretty. They were in the top 10 last season. They pretty much kept their team intact. Although if they don't come to terms with Chris Jones sometime, we may see the beginning of the end for Kansas City, not only just on the defensive side, but the offensive side of the ball. Since they pay old Patty Mahomes, I don't think they're going to be able to afford anybody else. But at this point this year, they'll get something going just long enough to make it through the year. So this will make a break on what the going to the Super Bowl again. The window will be closing, and I got them number 9.
Sorry, people keep lighting off fireworks, so it keeps coming to me. All right, so number 8, I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. Whenever you have Von Miller on one team and on that defense, I mean, he's still good. They beefed up, and then they have the boys from Iowa on their team too. Having a brain fart.
Josie Jewell.
Yeah, Josie Jewell. I think he's going to have a better season this year too. He didn't play as much as he should have last season. So I think with him and Von Miller, and you just can't go wrong with them. And they're a really good, fast defense. So I think they'll probably put up quite a few good points for the fantasy teams, for defense-wise anyway. So back to you, Ben.
So number 8 for me,
You're pausing way too much between when I get done. You're just like sitting there, and I'm just
because you edit so goddamn fast. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna say. I'm like, look up shit, so I don't talk out my ass.
See, folks, this is what happens when you don't come prepared to a fucking podcast. You just fucking surprised, man. Act like you worked 12 hours today or something.
Oh, scratch that. I fucked up. Number 9 or number 8 is not Dallas. It's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had pretty decent team last season. I think they were getting more experience underneath their belt. And I just think that they'll do much better this year.
Okay, so for my number 7, I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings. I think that they're still pretty decent on defense. They have been for the last few years. They've been pretty consistent. Their defense has held a lot of teams in check when it comes to the playoffs. I mean, look at what happened with the Saints. They held them to quite a few, or not very many points, whatever, in the playoffs and stuff, and ended up bouncing them out, towards the end. So I look for them to continue to keep their high pace of defense-wise when it comes to scoring points or whatever. So if you're ready, Ben, it's all yours. Number 7, brother.
Goddamn, them fireworks are going off in your shit.
Dude, they're right in my backyard. I mean, it's like literally less than like 30 feet from my house. They're fucking just nonstop. Both sides, front of the house and then the side of the house. All night long. Bastards.
In case you guys are wondering, it's the 3rd of July when we record this. You're not going to see this till later anyways because we had to do the production. But yes, it is around the 4th of July. The 4th is tomorrow, but people tend to celebrate that shit weeks on end. Obviously, you guys know because you're fucking American too.
America. Oh, yeah.
So, back to the list. I have Dallas Cowboys, number 7. That's who I wanted in there. I've kind of fucked up. My bad. They had pretty decent defense last season. They got a pretty good linebackers between Sean Lee, if that dude could stay healthy, but he can't stay healthy for shit. He's basically a J.J. Watt of Dallas. Leighton Vander Esch was a outstanding player last season, rookie, but he had a neck injury that kind of sidelined him. Don't know if he's fully recovered from that. If he's still going to be to his old form. The reason why I have 7th also, though, they lost the key corner, I'd say, and Byron Jones, who went to this guy's team over here, the Dolphins. And I think that hurt him a little bit, but they still got Vander Esch and Lee, and they still have DeMarcus Lawrence. They now have Gerald McCoy. See if he wants to get the fire in Dallas when they play San Francisco again, if he wants to say that again, and then we light their asses up, because that's probably what's going to happen. But yeah, though, they're 7th. I'll give them that.
Okay, for number 6, I have the Cowboys at number 6. Pretty much the same thing you just said. They lost Byron, and the fact that they did rehire, I should say, Lawrence or whatever from that used to play for the Dolphins or whatever. But Jesus Christ, people. Anyways, so I got them as my number 6 picks. I swapped them out for the Saints because I just think that the Saints, they were really iffy last year, and so that's why I swapped them with the Cowboys. So, back to you, Ben.
All right, my number 6 is the New Orleans Saints. Basically, they got a lot of good players on there now. They should still be in top 10. They have Malcolm Jenkins, who's back in New Orleans after a stint in Philadelphia, so now he's in there. They still have Lattimore, who's a solid corner. They still have Cam Jordan, who's pretty good. Marcus Davenport. All around, they got a pretty star-studded cast, and I think I keep them 6th.
Yeah, it all depends, because it just seems like last year, like, they really struggled towards the end of the season. They could not stop anybody towards the end of the year. Look what happened with your 49ers. They manhandled every motherfucker on that fucking team when you were down there to watch them play it live. So, I'm just basing it off of that, just for me, I guess. So, number 5, I'm going to be going with the Chicago Bears. I think they'll improve compared from last year. They had a down year. I think if they just have a decent quarterback, when your team is on the field for like 85 to 90% of the game, it's hard to win games. You can only depend on certain players for so long when they're tired as hell towards the end of the fourth quarter or whatever. So I think if they can get Big Dick Nick fucking chance, and if he stays healthy or whatever, sky's the limit for that team. But I guess the future will hold, or we'll find out whatever happens. So I look for them to be the number 5 defense this season. So.
All right, so my 5th ranked defense is making a jump from 14th to 5th. Mark my words. They picked up some hell of players. That's the Indianapolis Colts. They picked up a man, Defoe. Still bummed about that. That was the guy on our team, man. They stacked that defense around him. He was the fucking core guy that they built around. And then we traded him off. Obviously, we got a 13th pick out of him. Replaced him with Jaden Kinlaw. But the fact that they still have Justin Houston back, now they have Xavier Rhodes to go with Malik Hooker and Rocky Sim. They're loaded. They are loaded. And Darius Leonard's the linebacker. He's stud. So, you got a cast like that, you're going to be a top fantasy defense.
That's a good point. For my number 4, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. I think that they got one of the best corners in the league. I can't pronounce his first name, but it's White to Davius White or whatever.
Tre'Davious.
Davius, yeah, he's amazing. I mean, hats off to that kid. He actually outperformed Gilmore last season. Even though Gilmore won the Defensive Player of the Year, honestly, I think White got snubbed in that ordeal. I just think he is by far one of the best corners in the league, and he's young. So, I mean, the sky's the limit for that kid. And also on your point from earlier, getting A.J. Epinesa on that team and Sean McDermott, their coach, he's a very defensive-minded guy, and he's only gotten better and better when it comes from a defensive aspect of the game. They kept him in a lot of games last season. It's just, it was poor quarterback play on Allen's part that pretty much lost them the game against the Texans or whatever in the playoffs. So, but yeah, look for the defense to really step up this season. I look for them to possibly win the division this year. I know we talked about that on a previous podcast, but I really do think that they would probably be the number 4 defense this season and score quite a bit of points. So.
All right. So my number 4 is who you pulled up to the back. They were first last season. That's the New England Patriots. I only dropped them 4th. I mean, basically, they still got the same secondary they've had. It's pretty good. They got the McCourty twins still, Gilmore, Patrick Chung. Still got Hightower as a linebacker. So I don't think they fall that far from grace. They're going to drop. I agree, but they're not going to drop as far as you said.
Well, the one thing that I was making a point too with the Patriots was like they were number 1 from like weeks 1 through 8 and that was the easiest part of their schedule. Once they got to the hardest part, then they were getting blown out. I mean, hell, Devontae Parker week 17 put up over 100 and some plus yards and a touchdown against them in the week 17 or whatever. So maybe he didn't have a touchdown, but he put up quite a bit of yards on Gilmore. So basically, Gilmore was this so-called shutdown corner. He sure the fuck wasn't that week. So, and he wasn't the week after that. So,
I mean, you guys generally do good against those guys, anyways. You guys
not in New England. Not in New England. That was the first time since 2008 that we beat them in New England. So, and to do it with a freaking Pop Warner fucking team. I mean, that's just unbelievable. Sky's the limit, in my opinion. So, all right. So then you went with the Patriots at 4. So I'm going to go with the Ravens at 3. I think they added quite a bit of depth to their defense during the draft. They got Amani Hooker from the Iowa Hawkeyes. He was a steal of the draft. I think he was, 6th round or something like that, but they went there. Like, they got a damn good fucking player. Their whole defense was really good last season. But, of course, it was pretty, easy to be that decent when you had Lamar Jackson and them just running all over offenses. And, basically they were staying fresh the majority of the games. So, I mean, it will all determine this year. If they figure out Lamar Jackson and they do a lot of 3-and-outs, then we're going to see how good their defense is. But for the most part, if they don't figure out Jackson, I think they're going to be a top 3 rated defense this year.
Yeah, I got the Ravens at number 3 too. They didn't get Hooker, but that was the Titans that got Hooker.
No, they got no.
Amani Hooker's on the Titans.
Then they must have traded him because he was on their for the draft board. I remember. I'm gonna have to look it up now, motherfucker.
Now you're gonna have to. Amani Hooker's on the fucking Titans, buddy.
Well,
now we're just looking at our phones.
I'll be damned.
I'll be damned. You don't pay attention, dum dum.
Who the fuck did they get that was a Hawkeye player? My bad. I don't know my shit. There we go. Now somebody else is going to talk shit on me. Whatever.
That's a troll on you that I'm going to do in the edit. But also that guy's going to troll you in my group too.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck either. I'm going to fuck with him back. If he
One
says
fucking
something.
whoop you motherfucking do.
All right. Well, yeah. Ravens number 3. I'm in agreement. They picked up Patrick Queen as the linebacker. That was the main hole they needed to fill in the offseason, and they got it with Patrick Queen. Otherwise, yeah, they're going to have pretty solid defense like they did last season. Yeah, so that's why I got them 3rd.
Pretty good. Let's see here. So I'm going to go number 2, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, you know, they've been pretty decent. You know, TJ Watt's still there. So, I mean, eventually he's going to try to get JJ to come up there and be a Steeler. I think both his TJ and then his younger brother is also on the team too, I believe.
Derek Watt, who's a fullback.
Fullback. Yeah, I was going to say. So I think eventually they're all 3 going to be on the same team. You know, I'm kind of shocked because, you know, they actually did pretty well for fantasy-wise. You know, they didn't really stop the run very well last year, but they did put up quite a few points last season. So I look for them to hold on. They were number 2 last year also, so I'm looking for them to hold on to their number 2 spot again and gain more points that way. So that's who I got for my number 2.
So, judging how those last 3 places are going to be, I'm guessing that we have the same top 3. Okay. I'm also going with Pittsburgh.
Geno Stone, not Monty Hooker. My bad. So Geno Stone is who went to the Baltimore Ravens in the 7th round. So,
all right. Thanks for interrupting me, fuckface.
Well, hey, at least I knew it was a Hawkeye player that went on there. So kiss my ass, dick.
I'm just fucking with you. Yeah. Pittsburgh. Speaking on some of what you said, TJ Watt. Devin Bush was a hell of a pickup. He had a hell of a year last year too. They have pretty decent secondary. They have your old boy Minka Fitzpatrick when he isn't getting slammed by my boy Kyle Juszczyk. He's a pretty decent corner.
Oh, well, we got a decent first-round pick out of it, so I don't give a shit.
But, yeah, they got Bud Dupree and they got Cam Hayward. I just look to see them pretty much picking up where they left off and keeping it 2nd place.
So I have a feeling we both, our top 3 are the same. So my number 1.
Yeah, I just said that already. I had to rub that in your face.
Well, fucking for just that, I'm going to change it now. Fuck you. Dolphins, number 1.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, the San Francisco 49ers defense is definitely going to be number 1 again this year. You know, you got Bosa. Dude's a fucking beast. I mean, just unreal how fucking good that kid is. The whole
He's
fucking
an animal.
Just awesome. I mean, I just can't say, you know, good enough things about him. So the whole defense, you know, even though you have an older fucking Richard Sherman, he's still, you know, he can still hold it down just as well as he was before when he played for the. Now I'm not even going to mention their names. So, but yeah, I look for them to be the number 1 defense again. I think they're going to definitely, you know, have a better offense this year too. So I think that's going to keep their defense a lot more fresh on the defensive side of the ball. So look for them to have a lot more interceptions, a lot more sacks, probably a few pick sixes, or possibly a lot of punt returns or kick returns for touchdowns this year. So they're going to have quite a bit of points to score this season. So back to you, dipshit.
Alrighty, fuckface. Yes, my number one is the fucking 49ers. I can't even point it out right because it's all weird on this camera. Alright, I'll just fucking just go ahead and sound like a fucking little schoolboy getting excited about our defense. Our front seven is still intact, minus Defoe. I do believe Kinlaw can step in and make some noise. Even if he isn't right away to Buckner's standards, how he was. I mean, that's some big shoes to fill. I think it's still with the surrounding cast around him. You can't go wrong. He'll look good. They'll all look good. Bosa, my man, you mentioned him. He's going to fucking eat some quarterbacks even more. He's pissed off that he got fucking ripped off from the Super Bowl with the fucking refs. And he's looking to put some fucking Patty Mahomes on their back.
Player of the year. Should have been defensive player of the year.
D Ford is back again. He finally had some surgery done in the offseason. He played the entire last season pretty much injured. You couldn't tell at the start, but then towards the middle, it started wearing on him, and he wasn't in as often. He was cycled out a lot. Our secondary, it wasn't as addressed as I liked it to have been. I really wanted us to finagle some picks and pick up some good secondary players, at least another cornerback, maybe a strong like safety.
You guys got screwed though. You didn't really get screwed, but to not have another pick from what you had the first round pick, you had 2 first round picks, and then you wouldn't have had another one until the 5th round or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that wasn't because we got screwed. We fucking screwed ourselves.
I didn't say you got screwed or whatever. I'm just saying you just kind of the bum thing that happens because you traded certain picks to get certain players or whatever.
Some picks should have been. But, I mean, I can't complain. I think Bryan and Ajax was a good pickup. At first, I was kind of like, why? But then the more I fucking watch tape on him, the more I feel more confident in him. I still maybe in the off season, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of trade rumors going around with the possibility of us picking up Jamal Adams. And
man, that'd be nuts. That'd be nuts. If they can keep him from taking guns to the airport, I think you'd be fine. But he definitely wants out of New York. I mean, anything that Adam Gase touches falls to shit. He fucked us over with the fucking trade of a J.J. and fucking, they punished him to fucking give him a fucking Super Bowl ring, But, give what you take. I mean, you get what you get when you have a fucking shitty coach like that, so.
Yeah, Jamal Adams be a fucking huge addition and would definitely fucking solidify our defense as number one without a shadow of a doubt.
But I've also heard, though, that the Cowboys are trying to get him, too. So.
Well, he listed off 7 teams that he could be interested in. But also the fact that we still have Quan Alexander. He's doing pretty decent. Fred Warner's pretty good. He's really coming into his own. And then, of course, we got Dre Greenlaw, my man that made the infamous fucking stop on the fucking end zone stop against the Seattle Seahawks to clinch our division. Yeah, so pretty much fucking that team, we are fucking stacked on the defense. And we will be fucking number one. Mark my words. Hey, are you still there? You weren't even saying nothing.
Yeah, I'm still here. I thought you were still talking.
Nah, I stopped talking. So, anyways, that really concludes our top 10. Please let us know what you guys feel like below. Talk all the shit you want about me saying I'm a homer picking my team number one. But, I mean, it's my fucking Niners defense, bud. I mean, fucking unstoppable. He picked them too. So go ahead and leave a little likey and a little comments below. List your top 10. Let's hear it. I'll stay active and comment back. Bryan's been fucking lacking on that, but you know.
My bad. But yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta have the one hustler.
Yeah. Happy 4th of July out there. Don't pull a Jason Pierre-Paul and blow your fucking hands off, you moron. So and also respect your neighbors' fucking pets and everything, so don't be blowing those fucking fireworks off at fucking 2 in the morning or some bullshit. So have your pets spayed and neutered too, while we're at it. Fuck it. Just touch all bases.
I'm gonna light them off with my strong hand. All right, guys, we're out. Peace.
Peace, motherfuckers.